All right, so continuing with solving the systems of equations, we're going to talk about the elimination addition method. Now, to use the elimination addition method, the idea is to get the same but opposite coefficient on one variable so that you can add the equations together to eliminate one variable. In order to do this, however, we need to first get the equations into standard form. And remember, standard form, of course, is ax plus by equals c. All right, so we want to begin by getting all equations in standard form. Ax plus by equals c. Now we need to get the same but opposite coefficient on one of the variables. And we do this by multiplying the entire equation by some value. Step 3. Now that we have the same but opposite coefficient, we can add our equations together. All right, now that we've added the equations together, one of the variables would have dropped out. So we're going to solve the remaining equation. All right, now that we've solved the remaining equations, we're going to take this solution for step 5 and plug it back into one of the original. All right, so now let's solve this equation. And then, of course, what's always our final step? We want to write it as a point or a solution set. Sorry, my internet's really lagging today, guys. All right, why don't we try an example? All right, so here we go with an example. We have the solution or the system of, we have a system of equations of 2x minus 5y equals negative 7 and 4x plus 2y equals negative 2. Again, they're both in standard form, so step 1's already done. Step 2, we need to get the same but opposite coefficient on one of the variables. You'll notice on the x's that one is a multiple of the other, so that's the easiest one for us to work with. We're going to multiply the top equation by negative 2. By doing that, we're going to be able to get the same but opposite coefficient on our x's. So here we go. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. Negative 2 times negative 5y is positive 10y. And negative 2 times negative 7 is positive 14. Second equation is going to remain the same. 4x plus 2y equals negative 2. All right, so you'll notice we have the same but opposite coefficient on x, so we can add our equations together. Our x's drop out. 10y plus 2y is 12y. 14 and negative 2 is positive 12. Dividing both sides by 12, we find out that y equals 1. Now at this point, we're going to take this solution and plug it back into one of our two original equations. I always prefer the top one, but it really doesn't matter out of the original. So if I plug y equals 1 in here, for y, of course, I get 2x minus 5 times 1 equals negative 7. All right, so that's 2x minus 5 equals negative 7. Adding 5 to the other side, we get 2x equals negative 2. Dividing both sides by 2, x equals negative 1. And again, the last step is always writing it as a solution set. Negative 1, 1 in alphabetical order. Let's try another example. All right, how about 3x minus 4y equals 2. And how about 5x plus 3y equals 13. All right, so again, they're both in standard form. You will notice, though, that neither one is the multiple of the other. So in this case, we're going to have to multiply both equations by a value. Now, I'm going to choose to eliminate y this time since their signs are already opposite. I'm going to multiply the top equation by 3 and the bottom equation by 4. On the top, 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times negative 4y is negative 12y. And 3 times 2 is 6. Bottom equation, 4 times 5x is 20x. 4 times 3y is positive 12y. And 4 times 13 is 52. Again, you'll notice our y's now are the same but opposite coefficients, so we can add our equation together. 9x and 20x is 29x. Our y's drop out. And 6 plus 52 is 58. Dividing both sides by 29. We get that x equals 2. Now what do we do with that? We take that x equals 2 and we need to plug it back into one of our original. So if I start with the top one, 3 times 2 minus 4y equals 2. That's 6 minus 4y equals 2. Subtracting 6 to the other side, we get negative 4y equals negative 4. Dividing both sides by negative 4, we get y equals 1. And again, the last step is always to write this as a solution or a point. This is the point 2, 1, x, and then y. So there is a couple things I want to remind you of as we continue today. When you are solving, if all variables drop out, so again, if all variables drop out and the remaining is a true statement, such as 0 equals 0 or 3 equals 3, this is infinitely many solutions. The remaining is not true. Then the solution in this case would be that there is no solution. All right, now remember, this is a review. Go ahead and go for the worksheet. If you have any questions, let me know. Good luck.